It was another rainy night in the city, the kind where shadows stretch long, and the truth feels just out of reach. I sat in my office, the smell of stale coffee mingling with the faint trace of incense I burned to keep the darkness at bay. Not the darkness outside, but the one creeping in from the corners of the world. You could feel it if you paid attention. Something was rising, something old, something foul. They call it the Fourth Reich, but it's more than some dime store political grift. No, it's deeper, darker. It's the kind of darkness that comes with teeth. You see, the world's not as neat as the papers want you to think. There's a structure underneath it all, a kind of cosmic machinery. The good stuff, the light, the hope, the potential, that's the wiring. But when the wiring frays, when people forget their purpose, that's when the husks move in. The Kabbalists call them klipot. Me, I call them trouble. The klipot are like cigarette smoke in a cheap bar, everywhere, choking you before you even notice. They're not alive, not really. They're leeches, parasites, feeding on everything good and turning it sour. They show up when people forget themselves, when fear and greed take over. And right now, they're feeding on the soul of this country like a pack of rats in an alley. It starts slow, subtle, a whisper here, a law there. Some loudmouth with slick hair and a grin tells you he's got all the answers, that the problem is them, not you, not me, always them. The poor, the different, the ones who don't fit neatly into the picture frame. People buy it because it's easier to point fingers than look in the mirror. That's how the klipot work. They don't shove you into the gutter, they make you leap in yourself. And it's not just politics. No, this goes way beyond that. This is cosmic. The klipot are born from the cracks in creation itself. Long ago, when the big boss upstairs poured the light of infinity into the vessels of existence, some of those vessels shattered. Big cosmic mess. Sparks of light scattered everywhere, and the leftovers? Those are the klipot. They're the garbage heap of creation, clinging to the light they can't have and twisting it into something ugly. Now they're here, right under our noses, pulling strings, whispering lies into ears already itching to hear them. Purity, they say, cleansing. But it's all a con. Their kind doesn't want order. They want chaos. They don't want peace. They want to turn neighbor against neighbor until the whole street's on fire. And the worst part? They wear a mask of holiness, twisting good words into bad deeds. A real piece of work. I've seen their kind before, slithering into places they don't belong. They infiltrate the soul, corrupting institutions, poisoning minds. They start by twisting a man's morals, telling him it's okay to turn his back on the stranger, the widow, the orphan. Before you know it, he's not a man anymore. Just another tool for the klipot, another pawn in their ugly game. But you can't fight them with your fists, no matter how much you want to. Bullets bounce off this kind of darkness. The only way to take them down is by shining a light so bright they've got nowhere to hide. And I don't mean the light of a desk lamp in an interrogation room. I'm talking about the kind of light you get when you do the right thing, even when it's the hard thing, when you lift someone up instead of tearing them down. That's how you crack the husks open and free the sparks inside. Every good deed, every mitzvah, every moment of compassion, it's like striking a match in the dark. One match won't light up the whole city, but get enough of them together? You've got a fire so big it'll burn the klipot to ash. Trouble is, people forget they're carrying matches in the first place. They think the darkness is normal, that it's always been this way. That's the klipot's best trick, convincing you the light was never there to begin with. And the Fourth Reich? It's not just some fringe movement or a handful of thugs playing dress-up with old symbols. No, it's something deeper, darker. It's a manifestation of the klipot, those parasitic husks of impurity, crawling out from the cracks of a fractured world to sink their teeth into whatever light is left. They feed on division, on fear, on the kind of blind hatred that turns decent folks into angry mobs. They'll promise order, they'll promise purity, but it's all a lie. They thrive on chaos disguised as control, keeping the world in shadows while they gorge on the sparks of a broken creation. But here's the thing. The klipot are hollow, empty shells. They don't have power on their own. They can only take what we hand over. Every time we close our eyes to injustice, every time we let hatred fester, every time we let fear dictate our actions, we're giving them room to grow. That's how they work. They don't storm the gates. They sneak in through cracks we're too careless to seal. But, and this is the part they don't want you to know, they can be beaten. Every act of kindness, every choice to stand against hate, every moment we choose unity over division, it weakens them. They starve without darkness, without fear to feed on. You don't need fists or weapons to fight them. They can't stand the light that comes from within you, the part of you that remembers you're part of something greater. That's their weakness. The truth that every soul carries sparks of the divine, and when you act on it, when you let that light shine, the clipot fall apart like ash in the wind. So here's the question. Are you going to let the clipot take over? Are you going to sit back while they sink their claws deeper into the soul of this world? Or are you going to stand up and fight, not with violence, but with courage, with compassion, with every bit of light you've got? The streets are dark tonight. The shadows are stretching long. But somewhere out there, someone's ready to strike a match. Someone's ready to push back against the darkness. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the one who's going to light the flame. Because if you do, if enough of us do, then the clipot don't stand a chance.